this on our DSTV audio bouquet, channel 835. This is your Thursday edition of the ninth hour. The time is now 5 minutes gone after 9. Thank you so much for making time with us on today's edition. As of the ninth hour now, the Kanyanga Media Group is basically hosting a workshop under the topic Business, Startup and Marketing Workshops. And this morning we are now joined on the line by the founder of Kanyanga Media Group, that Mr. R. Kanyanga. And he's joining us online this morning to have a conversation around this topic, Business, Startup and Marketing Workshops. Mr. Kanyanga, good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just a bit cold, but yeah, keeping warm.
I'm told that you are outside the city. Where exactly in the Great Republic are you finding yourself?
Sorry?
I'm told that you are not in Windhoek. Where in the beautiful land of Namibia are you finding yourself?
I am finding myself in the Great Hartab region, most specifically in Mariental, my hometown.
Aha, all right. The royal town of Mariental. Let's quickly get right into it, and maybe let's talk about sort of the background and what inspired for you to organize this workshop, and then maybe you could elaborate a little bit further, extensively, what the workshop really encapsulates.
Okay, the background of the workshop is basically, I had the opportunity last year to be one of the successful Mandela Washington Fellows. So I had the opportunity to go to the U.S. for almost about 3 months. And then I actually had this similar type of workshop. It was actually called Venture School. I was at the University of Iowa. So, attending this university, attending this free week training, I really thought that, wow, I have so much knowledge that I've gained from this fellowship. And then I would really want to find a specific way, to share this knowledge with the young people of Namibia, because it's in this era we need to live in the era of sharing, and that's how the idea came about. So coming back, I started actually planning these workshops as of last year November. I started planning. We started looking for sponsorship. I started looking for people that I can collaborate with. I also started looking for people that be towns that we can collaborate with. And that's how the whole idea was birthed, you understand? And then basically now we are on our 4th workshop, and we are planning to do a national thing, not only in the south, but also go all the way up until to the north, to the east, to the west, and even to the coast. So that is actually the concept, how the concept was birthed, because it's all about sharing information and also equipping young Namibians with the necessary business skills, because there's a lot of business people out there, but the issue is they don't have the necessary skills to manage their small businesses. So that is actually the key that we want to work on how to help young business people, SMEs, on how to manage their finances and how to manage and market businesses successfully. So that was just basically the background and the way the idea was birthed, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We also know that part of the Mandela Fellowship, as you rightfully mentioned, is that there is what you call the professional development experiences, where fellows engage in short-term placements with some of the U.S. non-profit organizations, private companies, and I'm guessing it's in the spirit of sort of harnessing leadership skills. But I would like to take a look at what your experience as far as business, startups, and marketing in Namibia, especially in the southern region, has been. You look at an entity like Salt City, for example, and it really is derived from this idea of startup capital, or at least for the idea in this, it's encapsulated in this idea of startups. But in your personal experience, really, how are you able to marry the experience that you've had as far as business, startups, and marketing in Namibia, especially given the proximity where you are at now, the southern regions?
Okay. In the southern parts, the idea, the thing about marketing and, marketing your business, it's actually a huge topic because it has a lot of elements. But if I have to break it down and bring it down to let me start in the south. Especially in the south, there's not a lot of opportunities because it's not that we are being bypassed. It's also some sort of awareness. You understand? So there is not awareness about how to market your business, how to let your business know about people. And the concept of marketing, not only in the southern part, but let me say in compared to the U.S., in Namibia, it's like even a small business, let me say a bar a nail technician or a barber. These people have websites where you book yourself online. Small businesses. So just the small things that we look past can also contribute to a greater market. So if I come down to the South, people don't really have opportunities like, we don't even have a lot of training facilities that young people can actually go to get short courses and stuff like that. So these are also some of the elements that contributed to this idea. But then the concept of marketing when it comes to southern parts, when it comes to Namibia, we have still a lot to explore. Honestly, comparing it to the United States, I can put it in that sense.
All right. I think just the topic in itself, the theme, this idea of business startup and marketing workshop, it seems to me that it's very indicative of making sure that, a business idea is great, but it's much better if that business is visible, right? So maybe we can take a look at sort of the overview of the workshop in general. By the end of it, really, what exactly is the workshop aiming to target? What is its main objective? What output would you like this workshop to have established at the end of it?
Okay, the basic concept, the workshop is divided into 3 phases. So we basically started with our first phase, which is the theoretical part. Because the theoretical part is the part that most people skip when it comes to starting up businesses. For example, you have a talent. You are good at doing hair, you are good at cooking, you are good at, you have a skill. So now you start your own, let me say, hair salon. But you skip the element of registering your business. So that is where we come in. So we just want to recreate the traditional way of starting a business. So through this workshop, we want to really empower people on what are the steps to get your business registered. Number 2, what are the steps of keeping your business operational in a legal terms, like having a bank account, having a business savings, budgeting in your business. These are the things that we are looking towards. Because a lot of people can be successful within their business, but the problem comes in where they cannot manage their business correctly. So what we're also looking at is we don't want to make it too complicated, because a lot of people that we are targeting is small, medium enterprises, because these are the businesses that are always overlooked and they don't have the necessary support. So we will be doing, for example, one of the speakers is Regino. He's a very, very good accounting consultant. So he will be basically talking about budgeting. He will be teaching SMEs on how they can do small budgets, how they can budget for SMEs, in a small scale, not like for big company. He'll also be talking about what we call accounting for SMEs. It's a new concept that he came up with, saying that not a lot of companies, not a lot of books and knowledge is out there when it comes to accounting for SMEs, because all of these programs that we have is mostly for big companies. So that's the first part that we're looking at. We are also having one of our speakers, Roberto. He's a consultant. He's going to be helping people on how to register the business and how to keep their business up to date with stuff like NAMRA and BIPA. Because we know nowadays NAMRA and BIPA, they're serious. And if you are not up to date with them, you will not be able to get your business up and running, because these are very important things. That's where I also come in as the marketing expert. I will be teaching young entrepreneurs, young SMEs on how they can market themselves online with free of charge. We're going to show them techniques that they can use to make their business known. We're also going to show them on what is branding, how to build a brand. So these are some of the things that we will be discussing. And just to make it much more interesting, we will be having a few speakers. We're having a speaker from Botswana, Joy, as a fellow of mine that we met in Iowa City when I was doing the fellowship. She's in the petroleum, and also she owns service stations in Botswana. So she'll also be coming in talking about, the narrative of being a businesswoman and having kids, and how she's maintaining, also just to inspire young businesswomen and show them that you can still have a busy life and you can also be successful within business. And we'll also be having one of the speakers from Eswatini, Mboni. He is a founder and owner of a landscaping company. So landscaping is what we basically call gardening. And people really see doing gardens doesn't make money. So he started off as a basic gardener. Now he has a big company in Eswatini that does major landscaping projects. So these are just some of the elements we are bringing in, just to also give people not only the local perspective of business, but also the international perspective of business. And then we'll also be having a speaker from Germany. He's actually a Namibian, but he's currently studying in Germany, Gino Mugunda. He will also be coming in with the element green hydrogen. So our first workshop will be on the 10th to the 11th. It will be in Batani. So why we are looking at green hydrogen is we want to get SMEs, small businesses, aligned with type of businesses that they can start, that they can be able to provide services once the green hydrogen project kicks off. Because we need to get ourselves ready, not when the project comes, but we also need to already align ourselves to understand what are the opportunities that are coming and what type of businesses can one start. So these are just some of the things that we're going to be looking at. And lastly, will also be the first part, the theoretical part. The practical part is the next round of the workshops. We are really focusing on how we can support young businesses with raw materials. Like, for example, we want to give, if you're a nail technician, we just don't want to give you the skills, but also give you the resources, like give you a startup kit. If you are, for example, a hair salon owner, we want to provide you, if you're a tailor, we want to provide you with machinery and stuff. That is the phase 2. And then the final phase is what we call connecting local businesses with the international market. It's still far-fetched, but I've been busy establishing connections with investors from all around the world, from the U.S., from Chicago, where we want to really export local-made products. We can try to create a market for the international market. So how we're going to start with this is we are going to be launching a website very soon, where we will provide a platform for small enterprise businesses that are into craftsmanship, that are into tailoring, that are into designing, for them to have a platform for them to market their products and be able to sell their products online. So it's actually a big project that we are working on. So we just started. Yeah, let me just stop there for now.
Yeah,
so that we can.
No. I think I'd like to piggyback off of the fact that perhaps there's a technical error when it comes to reaching out to especially SMEs, in that the language, because the SMEs appear to me to be on the fringes. The language that entities use, that SMEs could get funding from, for example, the language is a bit too technical. So you find that somebody might have a brilliant idea in the southern part of the country, but the problem is that the technicality, the language which is used by the service providers, is a bit too difficult. And so I'm asking you this to engage with you really and find out what manner of style, as far as disseminating this information, will be used there. So if you've got someone that's a brilliant cook, a brilliant hairdresser, a brilliant cab driver, or a brilliant barber, but might not necessarily have the linguistic acumen to understand technical language, is the information going to be given in such a way that it is easily digestible by the basic person? Because I think sometimes it's a technicality of language that throws people off, and so we don't get to interrogate their expertise in that specific area. So how are you going to deal with something like that, the technicality around language?
That's a very, very good question. And that is something that me and my team really looked at. Because let me give you a simple example. We attend a lot of these conferences and stuff like that. And then they use this jargon that can really confuse people. Even for me, I studied, and I'm currently studying towards my master's in business. I still sometimes don't get the accounting terms. Let me say basic tax. People don't even know how to do tax in Namibia. So this is also one of the things that we're going to look at and try to bring down these complicated jargons to a level where, for example, a taxi driver can understand. For example, a lady selling fat cakes next to the street. We're even going to the extent to see if we can even bring it into their indigenous languages. Like, we have people that can speak Oshivambo, we have people that can speak Amara, we have people that can speak Herero. So we're also trying to see if we can be able to conduct certain workshops in languages that people can actually understand. And just to take you a little bit far, I'm also basically working with a website developer, and we are looking at developing a website that young SMEs can easily access access. And then these workshops, it's like online education where you can go and see simple ways to start up a business, because sometimes we'll not be able to reach to all towns. So this website, we are trying to make sure that it has easy and understandable language. We're also trying to see if we can convert it into local languages like Kwekwe, Damara, Herero, so that people can be able to access information and understand. So the same information that is given in English, we also want to give into their own languages. So it's a very, very important element that you brought up, because a lot of times people would attend workshops, people will be attending these trainings, but they will be leaving without any type of sense of understanding, because like you said, it's very difficult to understand. So what my presenters and my team, we are trying to do, we are trying to make it a very, very straightforward, a simple way that even a simple taxi driver or a lady who is selling fat cakes will be able to get the knowledge she needs from our workshops, not to make her, to elevate her business to the next level, because these workshops are not for, it's for everyone, and to help them to elevate their business from where they are to a better place. So that is what we are looking towards. So it's not really complicate things and give you all these accounting terms and business terms. No. We really want to see how we can accommodate people that are not really educated in business, and also people that are not really familiar with the type of jargons. For example, let me say how to submit your tax. A lot of people, even people that are educated, they're having problems with that. So we don't really want to confuse SME owners, but we really want to empower them, just to give them the basic skills they would need to take themselves to the next level. So just to answer your question on that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the other things that I really wanted to take a look at is the issue of sustainable development, obviously being crucial for ensuring long-term economic, social, and environmental well-being. Which means that once the establishments, or at least once the machine of SMEs is running, there needs to be a level of sustainability. In that, even after these workshops are done, you need to be able to come back and measure its growth. And so, what mechanisms are perhaps put in place to ensure that there's continuation there? I mean, we're taking a look at things like your environmental protections, economic growth, social equity, community development, as well as resource management. And I'm guessing that these are some of the things that you are also covering as well. But how then do we intend to ensure that after the workshop is done and the community, the constituent, is well equipped, that there's going to be sustainable development as far as the forthgoing of these SMEs are concerned?
Thank you very much for the question. Like I said, we cannot do this alone. We are in cohorts with the government. We are in cohorts with local authorities. We are in cohorts with, different entities that are already doing what we're doing. Because when we started this project, we decided that, we don't want to be on our own. We want to see how we can connect SMEs with other opportunities. So when we visit these towns, we are basically building a network. Because a lot of people in Betani, for example, like we opened up this WhatsApp group, and people have been sharing the type of business that they are doing. And even people in Betani, they did not know about these businesses. So our initiative is not a one-man initiative. Our initiative is just an add-on to what the government has been doing already. There's a lot of organizations that are doing something similar. So what we're basically doing is we're just trying to reach out to certain areas that are more remote, where these workshops are conducted. And then talking about building a sustainable economy, it normally starts with the people around you. If people within Betani, if people within Marintal, Gibeon, Aronos, if they start doing business with one another, they're already building a network. Do you understand? So that is what we're also trying to empower. A lot of these things, they need a lot of funding. A lot of people need capital. But we're also trying to see what can we do, and how can we also empower people? And also, we are also going to be providing these opportunities. For example, from the 10th of this month, I will be joined virtually by an intern from the University of Iowa. He will be helping me also conduct business literacy and financial literacy training. You understand? So this is also something that we are looking towards. You understand? So that's something that we're looking towards, because we are trying to collaborate with other organizations to make sure that we are going to connect these different people and not just come to their town, give them a workshop, and then it is. But we also want them as an organization to start their own economic connections within one another. Because we believe with this workshop that we just don't want to give information and leave, like you're saying. And that happens a lot. But we want to keep a continuous connection. But the idea here, what I'm trying to portray, is that we really need to first develop economic activity within ourselves. That's the first thing that we need to do. And this is when one business supports the other. So this is also one of the things that we are going to be looking at these workshops, on how people that are attending the workshops from those different towns, how they can now start businesses and to build their own economic structure within themselves. So once they have strengthened that, now we are going to give opportunities. We want to connect with banks. We want to connect with investors, bring investors to their towns to see, even if it's not physically, but at least virtually, people can come in and see the opportunities. And then the other thing that we'll be doing, since I'm owning a media company, we will be doing what we call economic profiles for the towns that we're going to be visiting. And then we are going to be marketing these towns so that other people can see what are the possibilities of opening up a business in Betani, in Beersheba, in Gibeon, in Aronos. You understand? I know that you are hearing a lot of these towns that are in the southern part, but we are trying to build a different southern economy. We want to trying to link the southern economy to the western economy, coastal economy, and to the northern economy. That's why we are aiming towards, at the end of the day, we are going to visit all the towns, and we are going to see how these towns can complement each other when it comes to economy. But the issue that we currently have now is just funding. So once we get our sponsors on board, we will be doing a lot of these workshops, and we will be doing them frequently. So that is how we are planning to keep this idea sustainable, and also to bring about sustainability within the towns that we're going to be visiting with our workshops. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to quickly take a look at the issue of inclusivity, because I understand that given the fact that we carry quite a young populace, sometimes there could be prejudice even in the pursuit of something as beneficial to the country as this one, in that our focus could be so primarily young people that we might leave the elder on the fringes, because sometimes the social structures that overreach, they can produce sort of like fragmentation and disintegration. And so I'm asking this to say, is the focus tilting more towards, say, young entrepreneurs and young SME or young thinkers, or is it inclusive of all? That, a Tani, like an auntie from somewhere in her 60s with a brilliant idea that might never have had the opportunity to blossom, also is welcome to this workshop, and will be given just as equal resources and attention as you would to somebody younger. Is that inclusivity also part of this workshop, that it is outside the bounds of age?
Yes. As when we promoted this event, we did not have any specific requirements, no educational requirements, no age requirements, because we believe that people can learn from each other. That is the philosophy that I'm living on. People can learn from each other. For example, the young face social media guys can teach a lot of the old cats on how they can improve their social media life. And then when it comes to financial stability and financial discipline, the young guys can also learn from the old guys. So that's why we really did not want to put any type of requirement, because we wanted to really see what can everyone bring to the table. So even if you never sat in front of a table, never sat in front of a laptop, we are going to include you, because we believe that people can learn different things from different people and different backgrounds, different cultures, on how business is done. Like you have heard about all of these success stories when it comes to business people starting up their businesses. They did not have any educational background. They didn't finish university. These are success stories, and these people did not have any educational background. Let's take KFC. The founder of KFC, he got his success when he was 60 years old. Through this workshop, we might bring about someone that would start, the brainchild would start at the age of 70. There is no limit at the age of 65, at the age of 80. There's no limit to business, because we really want to see how interesting it is to bring about different people together, and how they will be able to share their experiences, share their ideas, and then how we are going to use these ideas and see how we can bring about, change within our economy. That's why we also do not want to exclude any other regions. We only started in the South because we want to move up from here, because I'm also based in the South, but we are moving towards, other towns. So there is no inclusivity. There is no one is left out. Honestly speaking, no one is left out. Even the people that applied, most of them are people in their ages, like 50 years and 60 years. We even have one person that is like almost 55, and she wants to start a business. And there's a lady who also resigned recently. She's, close above her 60s, and she wants to use her pension money to start her bed and breakfast. So these are the type of people that we are working with. So there is no one left out, honestly speaking. Yeah.
I would like us to take a look at sort of the community and economic impact, because the validity of any workshop, or at least the validity of any idea, is sort of incumbent upon the community that it comes out of. So if you're going to have an idea, we measure the value of that impact by virtue of the community that it's coming from. So let's take a look at what your intention might be. Now, we might not necessarily be able to see the economic and community impact on the 10th of June already, but I mean in the long term, really, what is the aim? What sort of community and economic impact are you hoping that this workshop would execute? Let's start it off there with the community.
The community. The thing is, I grew up in the South. I've seen a lot of, there's not a lot of change happening. Honestly speaking, I have to be brutally honest about this. I've been in the South ever since I grew up in the South. I've seen some shops only recently came about town. Some services, they're not here yet. So that is also one thing that I look at. To bring about change, not only in my community, but also in other communities, and to bring about other services that they never had. And then the key thing that I want here is to reduce dependency. Because I believe Namibians are very dependent on the government. And this is one thing that, if not handled, the government will have a difficult task. So as an entrepreneur, and me and my team, we're really looking at to reduce the burden that the government is on. Just to give you a story, the other day I was at the CDC office, seeing how people are going to get this drought relief food, and there's a lot of young people. And I don't blame these people because they don't get opportunities. And it really saddens me to see that a lot of young people are out on the streets. They don't have opportunities. Most of them, I normally talk to them and they say they are eager, they want to work, they want to do something for themselves, but they don't get opportunities. So within the community, we really want to break down these norms of people are just dropping out of school, people are, alcohol, all of these things. And the only way that we can, reduce crime, reduce alcohol and alcohol abuse and drug abuse is when we keep these young people and keep people busy. And there's also a rise in what we call, mental health issues. People are committing suicide. Because once again, it's because people don't have anything to do. People feel like there's nothing to live for. So when we provide these workshops, it's like we want to bring some sort of hope within the communities, some sort of unity within the communities where we can bring people together through business and for them to start working together and also to make work within their communities. So that is the type of community engagement that we are looking towards. And then Namibia is a rich country. And then most of the people in Namibia, we have so many resources, but we do not know how to manage our resources. So this thing is also what we call a basic literacy, where we want to teach people on how they can start up their own ideas, how they can turn their ideas into success stories. For example, when I had my business was like my father was the founder of Kanyanga Media. You understand? I lost my father in 2010. So I had an option. Am I going to keep his legacy alive or am I going to let his legacy die? So I had this different mindset and I had to change in the mindset. And the only way that I could do this is because of the influence that my father had on me. So me and my team, we also want to bring in this influence of hope so that we can get young people together, we can get old people together, we can get different people from different regions together so that they can start working and starting our businesses. So the end goal and what we want to bring about the community is giving that hope and also to reduce the dependency they have on the government and start doing something for themselves. Because if people don't do something for themselves, we will not develop. So we're just trying to see how we can contribute, to the economy of the country, how we can contribute to the development of the community. Yeah.
I think we understand that, while the government support is essential for certain functions like let's say, infrastructure, public safety, and welfare. We also know that over-reliance can lead to inefficiencies and stifle individual community initiatives, right? That, of course, there's an expectation as far as reliance is concerned, but I think there's more to be said on innovation. Now, we also understand that regions have got very specific struggles, and I would like to maybe just zoom in a little bit more on what some of those specific challenges might be in the South. Again, for innovators, for young and old people that have ideas, what are the key specific challenges that you have over the years of staying there, at least, that you've observed that seem to reoccur every other time?
Okay. That question, I'm going to break it down in two phases.
Yeah.
The first challenge I already talked about is the skills, the opportunities. To be honest, I'm in the Hartab region. Mariental is the capital city of the Hartab region. We don't even have facilities like VCTs, where people can go and upgrade themselves. After high school, most of the young people are forced to go to Windhoek or go to Keetmans or somewhere else. And this is the problem that I'm having, because most of the times, how can these families afford to send the kids to studies? It would have been such a great contribution to the knowledge and the level of skills of young people if we had access to UNAM, if we had access to NUST, if we had access to IOM and like this, here in Mariental, where most people live. Because now you have to now send your child to Windhoek. For example, when I was studying at the Polytechnic, it was really hard. There are points in times I wanted to give up, but it's just that motivation I had for me to get my first degree. And this is the first problem that I'm having, because after high school, there's nothing that young people can do. And that's where they end up without work. So that's the first big challenge we have. We really need to, the government really needs to come and do their investigations, look at the education system in the South, because, there are so many universities in Windhoek itself, there's no opportunities for young people. That's the biggest issue we have. And secondly, when it comes to business, is most opportunities that are sent to themselves is like, I feel sometimes the people providing the funding and providing the assistance, they don't come and do actual research on what are the needs in the South. Because every town is custom to what they have in their surroundings. For example, just to give a simple example, we have a lot of open vast land. We are in agriculture. We are in, for example, there's a lot of stones and stuff like that where young people can actually explore. So I just feel like there needs to be some sort of an exploration to make sure that investments or opportunities that the government is providing in certain areas are based on the environment or the economic system that they are in. Because these opportunities come, but people within the region, they cannot grab these opportunities because they don't have the necessary skills. That is the other issue. Because a lot of times, Ministry of Trade have been throwing out opportunities for young people to apply for. But then sometimes they don't meet the requirements because they don't have the necessary skills and they are not uplifted. The other problem we have, what we all know, is funding. Funding opportunities in the South is very rare. Like look at towns like Warfish Bay and Sokopon. Why they are prospering? Because they have so much economic activities. They have private companies that are investing in locals. They have factories that are investing in locals. But we don't have such opportunities here, like companies that can actually invest within the towns that they are in. So I do not know how we can also, close this gap on bringing, opening up factories to towns where, there's a lot of economic activity. Because I believe if there's more economic activities, there will be more opportunities for young people, not only within the South, but, all over that we're living. We are, sometimes I feel like I'm in a town where we are like excluded because the opportunities are bypassing us. Like, for example, Keetmansworth, they have university, they have UNAM, they have NIMT, they have NUST. They have all of these different universities, but we don't even have one. And this is the capital city of the region, in my region. So I'm basically just talking out of the experience that I've been living in. Some other towns might also have the same pains, but these are the pains that we're living, and that's why I'm saying I do not blame the youth sometimes, why they start drinking alcohol, why they only, go into drugs, because the opportunities, there's nothing to keep them busy. So we really need to, I don't know, reach out to the economy, to the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Education. They need to come, we need to sit on the table and see what can we bring about in our region that keep our young people and our older people educated and getting their literacy and skills that they need to be able to develop or bring about development within our region. Yeah, those are some of the challenges I really think that are causing most of the issues that we have here.
I'd like us to go back to the relationships that you fostered. I mean, you spoke about some of the speakers that you have, some of the people that you had the privilege to meet at the Mandela Fellowship. And I know we spoke earlier about sustainable development already, but I'm guessing that you are fostering these relationships because the world is technically a one. It's technically a one village because of technology. And I'd like us to take a look at whether or not this is going to turn into an annual workshop, or is it one of those projects where you just need to plant the seed and it sort of replicates itself thereafter? But are we expecting to see more workshops of this nature perhaps annually until such a time that there's proper grounding of these results?
You are correct. This is something that we want to take first in the communities. We want to take it nationally, and we want to take it internationally. And it has to be, we're looking at a point where once the funding and once this relationships I'm fostering, where I want to have the ability to take at least 2 or 3 business entrepreneurs from every region and take them internationally to expose them. That is the idea. Because I believe that the sky is the limit with anything. And then the other thing I believe in is consistency. So once we started, I started last year with 2 workshops, but now this year, because of a little bit of funding, because this project is self-funded. It's me and my partner. We are basically funding this out of our own pockets just to make it possible. That's why we are charging $150, also just to help us with some of the logistics. But eventually, we want these workshops to be free of charge so that we'll be able, because not a lot of people can afford that $150 that we are also asking. So we wanted to see if we can get more sponsors on board, if we can get more people on board. We're really looking forward to making this not only regionally but a national event where we can even have a summit. Maybe we decide to have a youth expo where all of these young people that we have trained, they will be able to come in, for example, to Marienthal. And then we have a week of expos where these people can showcase. It'll be a good opportunity for them to network. And then the next year we'll choose another region, another town. So it will be like we're training them throughout the year, and then at the year, every end of the year, we'll bring all of these entrepreneurs together in one place where they can share. And then once we do it nationally, then we go take it abroad. And then we can, for example, foster relationships with people from Eswatini. Then we can have an expo in Botswana, we can have an expo in South Africa, and then we can take over the seas. We can go to Germany, we go to America, just for these young people to be exposed. So these are the ideas that we're having. But for now, everything starts small. So we really wanted to take our time so we can foster and plan better. So with these workshops, we are learning. We're constantly learning. But just to be sure, this will not only be a yearly thing, it will be an annual thing. And every year we'll look towards on growing and becoming bigger. Because, like I said, the sky is the limit. And, I have so many people that they'll be conducting workshops virtually. People from Germany, people from the Chicago. I'm also going to be hosting what we call an online fashion show. We want to host a virtual fashion show where we have local Namibians, showcasing their stuff to the international market virtually because, we need to find ways that we can expose our Namibian designers to the international market. So these are just some of the ideas, some of the projects that we are looking at. So this thing, like I said, it's divided into different elements, the theoretical, the practical, and the funding part. So these are all of the things that we're looking for. But next time we're going to be having this interview, I might be doing this interview from, I don't know, maybe somewhere in Bangladesh, somewhere, you never know. So these are the type of ideas, these are the type of things that we are looking towards to build not only a local, but also an international connection, and also to grow this thing. Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at our lovely listeners that might be interested. How can they register or get involved in the workshop?
Okay. Currently, we started marketing the workshop in Bethany. We started in April. So if there are people that are currently based in Bethany or people that are close to Bethany, they still want to, we have extended the registration up until Friday because we still need to do logistics because we are also giving certificates at these events and the other logistics that we also need to do. It's quite simple. We have an online registration option. So we have the link. Then if you want to access the link, you can go to Kanyanga Media or you can go to Kanyanga Photography. The links are on our pages. And the link is quite a bit long to share, but if it's possible, they can always access Kanyanga Photography, or they can go to my Facebook, Romanus Tolo Kanyanga. That's where they can also access the link. So the link is simple, straightforward. You click on the link, you register, and then you can make your payment via e-wallet, EC wallet, or you can pay directly to our accounts, and then you'll be registered. What you need for the workshop is, if possible, you can bring along a laptop because you'll be doing a lot of practical stuff like drawing up a budget, how to design your logo, how to design invoice layout, how to create your own posters. These are some of the practical things that we're also doing. So if people have laptops and stuff, it will be great for them to bring them along. So basically that's it. And then for people that are we are looking at 2 other towns. We will be launching the posters very soon. We are looking at Okanja, and we're also looking at Ludwitz, and we are also looking at Grootfontein, and we are also looking at Chumep. These are the towns that we already, and Hobabas, for example. These are the towns that we are looking at. So, like I said, it's basically funding. So once we get our partners on board, once we get funding on board, we will be reaching out and we will be launching the posters and we will be informing you guys. But for now, if you need information based on this, if you have a phone, you can contact me directly. My number is 081 20 99 694. I'll repeat again, 081 20 99 694. That is my number. Our social media pages is Kanyanga Photography. That is where we are posting most of the information based on registration. So anyone can actually register. It says that, if you're close to the town, it will be cheaper for you. But very soon we will be coming to a town closer to you because we're at least looking at conducting workshops in a town in every region. Like let's take, for example, Ludwitz is quite a bit far. We want to really reach out. There's a lot of interest from Ludwitz because we are looking at the green hydrogen. This is the next big thing. So we really want to see how we can empower SMEs in towns that have these opportunities. We're also looking at coastal towns like Swakopmund, Walfish Bay, Karibib, Usakos. We're also looking at, we're still going to strategically align ourselves to see where we'll be situated. But if the workshops are coming, we'll be launching a guide very soon showing that which town we'll be visiting next. And we'll also be providing you guys, we'll also be launching our website very soon where people can be constantly getting information about our workshops and what are the different things that we're doing, with this project, and also the different partners that we are going to be partnering up with. Like I said, collaboration is key. So we are not a one-man show. We are collaborating with different other organizations that are doing something similar. So maybe it might not be us having a workshop, but we will be able to assist you with other entrepreneurs and other organizations that will be having similar workshops in your towns. So if you follow our socials, you will be obtaining all of this information on our socials,
So before I do let you go, perhaps it's the information that we might have omitted or something that you would like to reiterate in the interest of time, but also just for the sake of refreshing, perhaps information that you find is more pivotal and you would like to be able to reiterate that information.
For me, honestly speaking, we always say opportunity comes to your doorstep. So you have to grab every opportunity. Like these workshops you will not regret. If this comes to your town, if you're not attending this workshop and you're a business person, you're passionate about business, you will regret. So the only thing that I would really say is, if there are entrepreneurs that are listening to this right now, if you are in Bethany, if you're in Marienthal, if you're in Keetmanswoord, if you are in Beersheba, if you are in Gibeon, if you are in Stanbridge, I don't know, we are in your regions. You have time till Friday. All I can say is register. Even if you're not even having a business, you don't have an idea yet, we might just spark an idea. So all I'm going to say is grab this opportunity with both your hands and see. If you need sponsorships, there's people that are paying. There's people that can assist you. There we luckily found someone that is willing to pay for 10 participants. He's a private, he decided to stay anonymous. He's willing to pay for 10 participants who cannot afford the 150. So please contact me. If you're really eager, if you want to learn, contact me. We can talk to our sponsors. They can move it up to 20 people. And then we will be paying for you to attend this workshop. But before I leave, I would like to say this thing is going to be big, and it's good to be part of it from the day one. So our speakers from Eswatini, from Botswana, from Germany, they are really excited to share the knowledge they have and share the ideas they have. And we are also having these workshops not only to give our ideas, but also to hear what young people have to say about business, the experiences they have, because it's two-way learning when it comes to business. Like, I've been in business for quite some time now, but I'm learning every day. So just to motivate you guys, please register online. Get in touch with me and my people. If you do not have the funds, there are people that are willing to sponsor you as well. It's just 150. It might just give you the next best idea, and you might be the next Bill Gates or the next Jeff Bezos or the next Knowledge Kati or the next Lazarus. We must also start talking about people. We have business people, successful business people, Franz Ndongos. You might be the next one. So that's all I have to say from my side, yeah.
Thank you so much for making time with us, Mr. Kanyanga. And I'm hoping that the workshop is successful. And I know that it will be, but that we're able to see tangible results after the workshop.
Yeah, hope so too, yeah.
Thank you so much for making time with us.
Thank you.
Alrighty. There you go. That is the founder of Kanyanga Media Group. That's R. Kanyanga. They're having a workshop in Mariental focusing on business startup and marketing workshop SMEs, right? That's going to be from the 10th all the way down to the 11th. So if you are in the southern part of the country, please make sure that you attend this one. Sometimes in order for you to make something of anything, really, there is no better time to start. Like, if you are going to wait to feel like starting something, you would have failed at starting something. So you need to to be able to take not necessarily a risk, but sort of that leap into the unknown. So news coming up at the top of the hour, and then on the other side of that, Mr. Mario Jones will be keeping you company. For now, sounds of Sipa Gumede. This one is called Alone in a Strange Place.